It would absolutely be yes. This is not a perfect world. Our world is trying to make sure that above everything else and anything else, that frame rate for this game is awesome. That's what we need. So anything that could potentially have a real negative impact on that frame rate is something we would have to consider very carefully before doing. Technically, of course, we can do it. At least put them in, but the effect of that on large scale melee, probably not so good. Pink eye, is it possible to lose your weapon? Yep, it is indeed possible. Now, also, let me say before people worry about this too much, the more powerful the weapon, the stronger the bond with the weapon, the less likely something it is to be lost. I mean, and it's not something, once again, that we want to see as a quit point. Like every time I throw Mjolnir, there's a 90% chance that it won't come back. That would be bad. But it is something you have to think about, especially if you were going to try to use Mjolnir, for example, as a siege weapon. McCafferty, with the paths changing the appearance of people, assuming that they do, will there be an option to turn the appearance change off? Absolutely. Since we've said that people can wear different armor than might be normally associated with their class, then it would be foolish of us to say, well, no, now you have to be identified as a member of the path of Thor, Odin, etc. From Adri, will there be other components in the path besides weapon-specific like components for armor? Yes. Ashley, where are the snakes? Well, of course, they're on the plane. Will weapon glove sets be bound to each other? Well, anything is tradable as long as it's not bound to you. I mean, if you bind something to yourself by putting a bit of your soul in it, yeah, it's no longer a tradable item. But that's a choice that happens, after crafting, not, before crafting. From Gentleman Does, from another backer or viewer, how far will you take environmentally based skills? Honestly, have no idea yet. I think it's something that's worth exploring. It's a complicated issue design-wise, mainly because the first thing we have to decide is how quick or how slow our day-night cycle is, as well as the seasons. If we put in something that goes, hey, at night, these paths are a lot less effective, and night is most of the gaming experience for players, well, then that's going to be bad. So it's something that we want to, put in the game, but, like so many things, we're not going to do it if we think it makes the game a lot less fun to play. Tatsumi, will somebody who goes down a path be stronger than one who doesn't? No. It's, again, think of it cosmetically. Think of it again, simply you just playing the game the way you want to play it, and then above, sits the path system. Rhaegar, the difference between a spirit and a pet is, well, the simplest way is that spirits don't have to worry about pathing necessarily. We're, figuring out how that giant whatever or small whatever or medium-sized whatever gets to its target, jumps over the right objects, doesn't get stuck in the wrong geo, things like that. So spirits are something that, essentially is kind of cheating It's pets for cheaters. And in this case, we're the cheaters because we want to make sure that if we're going to put in a pet system using spirits, that it doesn't come back to bite us in the posterior. And we all know from playing so many MMOs where the pet system was a lot of fun, but was buggy as, well, as hell. So we don't really want to do that. From patch will archers and healers, etc., be able to do combo abilities? Of course. Why wouldn't they? Cursed, what it means to progress in a path, again, two things. One, you're progressing with your abilities that you would be doing anyway. The path is not something you're going down like a talent tree and go, well, this is how it's going to work. I can go there, but I can't go there. It's simply you're playing the game the way you want. The progression that you could get, or the bonuses, or the perks, or the whatever that you could get from the path are simply, right now, cosmetic. That's the easiest way to think about it. Just think about playing the game, using whatever weapon or weapons you want, working on your abilities, working on unlocking new components, and if you happen to progress down a path, you might get something for it, or you can decide not to. Could warrior attacks backfire? Oh, absolutely. Not in the same way necessarily that mages do, but could things go wrong? Yeah, they should. But one thing to keep in mind is that the kind of backfires that can be kind of spectacular, possibly with the mages, that's in exchange for the power that we give them. So working on these great group spells, you might have a chance of something going very wrong. Whereas working on the less powerful abilities, there's far less of a chance of something going very badly wrong. Will the shield be throwable? If we have dual shields, I would assume that would be a very good thing to have. A two-handed shield throwing, possibly, but we honestly haven't gotten that far. Will the axe from Nanorox, will the axe path include dual axes? That's something I'm thinking about. Do we want dual axes? Do we want one big ass, two-handed axe? That is why the section on Forseti isn't done yet. Will you be able to use terrain-based weapons? Could you pick up a rock, etc.? I would love to be able to do that. That obviously is cool. It kind of logical, but honestly, we haven't discussed that yet. Do we plan on balancing and restricting utility and CC abilities? Well, think about CC as you would any other part of a class. So, it's going to work the same way in its own class, because obviously we haven't, talked about any kind of CC in this document that would work when it comes to a class that is geared to CC. Randall, will there be much more agile warriors in light, and will there be much more agile warriors in lighter armor? Well, certainly you'll be a bit more agile if you're not wearing full plate. How that will affect the game and how much you'll really be, more bulkier, more cumbersome, slow to move, et cetera, et cetera. Haven't gotten there yet. From Tricon again, okay, if you go deep in Odin's path and showing extreme dedication, will there be a visual component? Again, as if it is purely cosmetic, the answer may be yes, but it's got to be purely cosmetic. Spike, will we receive updates like this for future classes, or will be more like the Hellbound idea? Well, keep in mind the Hellbound was a great story and a concept, not even a concept document, just a very kind of vaguish concept for the class, because I thought it was just really cool and I wanted to get it out there. We are going to be doing this again. I think it's frankly the best way to do it. Our IT folks responded very well. We got lots of great feedback. So I don't see this being any different. Sorry. I don't see us doing anything different as we go through the other paths. Okay, from Itsis, what did I call it the path system when it seems like other games' achievements? Because it really isn't. I mean, there are parts of it, obviously, that feel more achievement-based, but it really is a way that you can spec your character to fit one of these paths. Again, it's totally optional. But for a lot of new players, guys who, hey, haven't backed our game from, day one, or who are coming in late because they've just heard of the game, they won't have the same kind of background that, right now 20,000 of you are going to have by the time, we hit alpha. So something like this, where it is very easy for some players to look at and go, wow, I really just want to use Mjolnir. I saw myself as Thor. I want Thor. That's the character I want to play like. That's where it comes in. So it really isn't just an achievement system. It is something that has an achievement component, of course, but it is more than that. If you choose to master 2 weapons or 2 armor types, do you believe in equipment swap and cast time or inventory weight encumbrance is a better balance mechanic? I'm not sure better than what. Certainly, we've already said there's going to be, a penalty. We're not going to stop people from trying to, switch their armor in combat. You want to go and, stand there and switch out your armor or switch out your weapons, great, go right ahead. Understand you're going to get hit by anything around you, and we're not going to have any sympathy. We've been very clear about this right from the beginning. If you want to take multiple weapons and even multiple armor types into combat, carry the weight, deal with the encumbrance, and also then pay for it, switching out your weapon or your armor during battle, go right ahead. But people will be hitting on you while they do it, and not in that, kind of, hey, would you like a date kind of way. Cooper Kill, I have answered this. I'll answer it again. Can shields lock onto each other with different players, like the Roman shield walls? We'd love to be able to do that. I mean, again, we're doing that with mages, where we want mages to be able to work together on some spells, so why shouldn't warriors? From Tricon, have we considered grappling for our warriors? No, not yet. It doesn't mean that we're not going to do it. We just frankly haven't gotten to that point yet. Can a weapon bond be transferred to a different weapon type? Rhaegar, yes, of course. You should be able to do that. Can Warrior from Jack Ryan, can Warrior attacks be momentum based? Yeah. You know, there's certainly, we talked